All right, one of the last free agency dominoes to fall. Marina Mabrey is going to Chicago. Let's take a look at this trade real quick. I am not sure if there are any winners in this trade. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm scratching my head. Maybe I am missing something. But if you haven't heard, Marina Mabrey has been traded from the Dallas Wings to the Chicago Sky in a four-team deal, which included the Liberty, the Mercury, and obviously the Sky and Dallas Wings. So let's go through the particulars of the trade. So the Sky receive obviously Marina Mabrey from the Wings and a 2024 second round pick from the Mercury. The Wings receive Diamond DeShields via the Mercury, a 2023 first round draft pick from the Sky, a 2024 first round draft pick from the Sky, and a 2025 first round pick swap with the Sky. Now the Mercury receive Michaela Onyemade from the Liberty. I know I butchered that name, sorry. The 2024 third round pick from the Sky and a 2025 second round pick from the Sky. The New York Liberty received the rights to Leonie Fibey via the Sky, a 2024 second round pick via the Sky, and a 2025 first round pick swap with the Mercury. Now, I'm just going to focus on the major particulars with this trade, which is essentially Mabrey going to Chicago and Shields going to Dallas. All right, let's take a look at this. First off, Dallas getting Shields. It's fine. They got a lot of draft picks, but as free agency ends, is Dallas really much better than when they started the free agency period? They've got Howard, which is great, but then again, they lost Thornton, they lost Gray, and as well, they lost Mabrey. So even it up, I'm not sure. I don't think they're really significantly better. They're really starting to remind me of the Tennessee Titans of the WNBA. I think they'll just be barely make the playoffs, be a number 8 seed, and then it'll be one round and done, essentially. I don't see that changing with their current setup. The 2024 draft pick and the draft swap with the Sky in 2025, those could wind up to be quite valuable, granted, but how many draft picks has this team had, and at what point are they going to start reinvesting in the players they get and putting something cohesive together? You could see early on during the free agency process that they had cooled on Mabrey. The articles coming out before, Greg Bibb was talking about how important it was that they retain Tierra McCowan, but nothing on Mabrey. I wonder if they're going to regret this in the end, as I think both Thornton and Mabrey, who've been traded away, were important pieces for the Wings in terms of mental toughness and resilience. They wouldn't have made the playoffs last year if it wasn't for Mabrey, as she went on a bit of a streak and basically dragged them into the playoffs once that Arike Ogumawale went down. Speaking of Arike, I don't know if this trade's good for her as well. She and Mabrey are buddies. I mean, I know it's professional and that's beyond the point, but I think having somebody, she knew that she had one player that had her back. I suspect this year is going to be tough on her, as I think she'll be the next fall person in Dallas. She is such an easy target. She's very ball dominant, doesn't play great defense, and can throw tantrums when it doesn't go her way, like throwing the water bottle on the floor or kicking a scoreboard after a double clutch free throw, or getting kicked out of a game by playing soccer with the basketball. So I see her as the next fall guy, and I think this could be a lonely team for her. And Dallas will trade her away next year, telling us how they got more draft picks and how the future is so bright. Now for the Mercury, this is just basically they're getting rid of DeShields. I don't know if they're looking for a bit of cap space to give a max contract to Griner, or if they're looking to bring somebody else in, or what the plan is, because they have potentially 3 max players in Taurasi, Griner, and Diggins Smith, who's on maternity leave, who will have to pay. Overall, I think this trade is just a reminder about how bad they got schooled by James Wade last year when he traded them to Shields and got their first round draft pick, which was unprotected. So that is the pick that Chicago will have this year. They traded their own pick to Dallas. So thank you, Mercury. The Sky will be saying, thank you for that number 5 pick. We'll take that, and then we'll give our garbage pick to Dallas. Now for Chicago, I'm really hesitant on questioning James Wade, but this one I'm not sure about, as it seems like you're allowing Dallas to do to you what you did to Phoenix, essentially. I wouldn't be giving up the 2024 pick. I assume that's unprotected. I haven't seen anything else yet, but I would not be giving up a 24 and a 25 draft swap because those should be strong drafts, and it's probably a good way for you to start the rebuilding process is getting good players on cheap contracts. I think this spells out the danger when you have your coach acting as a GM, as coaches don't want to lose and don't want rookies that'll cost them wins. They want experienced players, and it's pretty evident that Chicago's likely looking to rebuild through free agency. And it could be argued Wade did this before, so he just made gradual improvements in the sky. And then when an opportunity like Candace Parker came up, he was able to jump on it because they weren't tanking and just totally awful. He just made increments and then jump on it when you get the chance. So we'll see how it plays out, but I wouldn't have given up those picks for Marina Mabrey. Why not just offer her? I'm sure Dallas would not have matched if they would have gone for like a 1-year ridiculous contract, like something like 230 or something like that, and just blown Dallas out of the water with an offer, because it was pretty clear Dallas didn't want to keep her anyway. To be honest, I'm not really sure why the Liberty are involved in this trade. I assume that Sandy Brondello, who's Australian and sort of has her eye on the WNBL in Australia, possibly has her eye on Liana Fabic. So we'll see. As I said before, this was likely the last big free agent domino to fall. The other one, I could see Diggins Smith getting moved. I could see that happening in a few weeks or not. I don't know if they're going to be able to trade her or not. The other news to go down is Katie Lou Samuelson. She's announced her pregnancy. I would assume she's out for the entire year. If anything else breaks, we'll be covering it, but I'll probably start looking a little bit at March Madness and doing the breakdowns there, as well as some WNBA draft preview as well as that gets closer around after the March Madness. All right, thanks a lot for watching. Please like and subscribe.